When it comes to watching a movie, we all have different reasons why we end up picking a particular one. Sometimes you watch a movie to laugh. Sometimes you watch a movie to cry. Sometimes, though, you just want to have a bit of fun and watch something a little naughty. This is Deidre Ann Johnson, and today we are counting down our picks for another top 10 sexiest Korean movies. For your sexy, but not porn, viewing pleasure, these movies will definitely give you a feeling of satisfaction. They are full of spice, chemistry, increasing passion and excitement, making them the sexiest movies ever. And then, there are some sexy scenes that take them up a notch. If you don't see a film that you think should be on this list, be sure to check out part 1. We hope you will enjoy the movies listed. Let us know your favorite in the comments, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video again. Number 10. Secret Love. Just 2 months after getting married, a beautiful young woman finds her world shattered when a brutal accident puts her handsome new husband into a deep coma. She does her best to take care of him, but it isn't easy. She's already missing deadlines for work, and she has only videos of her wedding to comfort her. She soon finds herself waiting at the airport for her husband's brother, but never having previously met, she is shocked to discover that he and her husband are identical twins. Initially cold towards each other, a close yet confused relationship gradually develops. Number 9. A Good Lawyer's Wife. This film follows the story of a husband and wife who have made a comfortable home with their 7-year-old adopted son. However, their relationship is shallow and passionless. Furthermore, they are not able to satisfy each other sexually, and that has led to the husband having an affair. Soon the wife realizes that her teenage neighbor has been spying on her, and instead of being angry, she is flattered and ultimately begins to have an affair with him. The story takes a more serious turn when a tragedy painfully impacts the family. Number 8. Plum Blossom. The plot concerns 2 teenagers who pass through high school and university together as best friends, and the sexual liaisons they have along the way. One boy is seduced into his first sexual experience by a classmate. When she obsessively declares her love for him, he pulls away with drastic consequences. Thereafter, he immerses himself in loveless sex until he meets a cheerful nurse, and she's not about to let him slide away so easily. Meanwhile, his friend falls head over heels in love with his beautiful poetry teacher, who moved into his family's house. When he attempts to force himself on her, she is kind, reminding him that she is his teacher and he is her student, a relationship that makes his wishes impossible. Number 7. Green Chair. This film follows the story of a divorced woman in her 30s. She eventually engages in an affair with an underage male who considers her to be his first love. While she gets caught and sentenced to a slight penalty of several days of community service for indecent behavior, the guy waits in anticipation for her release. After their reunification, the two fall in and out of love as the woman starts to become conscience-stricken about being together with a guy half her age. However, he desperately clings to her, causing their feelings to ignite once more. Coming up at number 6, The Intimate. This film follows the story of a woman who has never taken a risk in her life. She's been dating the same man for 7 years and is planning to get married next month. Then one day, she meets a handsome stranger who persuades her to spend the day with him. Maybe it was a mistake to accept his proposal, but over the next 24 hours, she will experience a level of excitement and intimacy, as well as confusion, that she has never experienced before and could change her life forever. Number 5. The Sweet Sex and Love. The film portrays the relationship between a free-spirited fashion designer and a hospital orderly who meet by chance and end up spending an unforgettable night together. They go back to their routines, but the memories of that day fill them with temptation. Breaking up with her boyfriend, the woman decides to meet the man again when he calls her out of the blue after their first passionate encounter. The two fall madly in love, and the romance begins. However, after the passion comes the questions. Not ready to settle down, the two are unsure about their feelings for one another, and the little things begin to wear at their relationship. Is sex enough to keep two people together? Number 4. Summertime. Set in the 1980s, the film follows the story of a student activist hiding out in a small rural village. Through a hole in the floor of his second-story room, he sees a beautiful woman lying on the bed in the room below. Her husband keeps her locked as a virtual prisoner in the apartment when he leaves for work. As he continues to peer through the floor at the woman and her husband, he can't help but become increasingly aroused. Then one day, fortune eventually favors him when he discovers the keys to their home on the steps outside his apartment. He decides to break in hopes of having sex with the woman for real. Nearing the top of our list at number 3, Natalie. A sculptor professor has just completed the first public exhibition of his work in 10 years, with the centerpiece of the event being a bronze nude entitled Natalie. As he gathers his thoughts after the guests have departed, one of his former students turns up at the exhibition hall asking to buy Natalie, claiming that the statue is based on a girl whom both men obviously know. When the professor refuses to sell the statue at any price, the former student demands to know the nature of the professor's relationship with the girl. As he begins to relate the secrets behind their story, the former student begins to reveal some secrets of his own. Number 2. The Concubine. Set in the Chosun dynasty, the film centers around 3 characters: a young woman who becomes a royal concubine against her will, a man torn between love and revenge, and a prince who has his heart set on the woman despite the countless other women available to him. They form a love triangle which is ruled by a dangerous passion. The struggle to survive within the tight-spaced boundaries of the palace is intense, and only those who are strong enough to overcome the hell-like milieu can survive. And coming in at number 1, Empire of Lust. Set in the early Chosun dynasty, the film follows a brilliant general who finds himself falling in love for the first time with a beautiful Kisang, whom he takes as his concubine. Meanwhile, his son, who also happens to be the son-in-law to the king, spends his time chasing women and abusing his position. They all get caught up in a power struggle led by an ambitious prince who is passed over for the throne by a younger sibling despite helping his father, the king, establish the Chosun dynasty.